Man, I am excited. You have no idea. All right, it says
I
I
don't
am
think I've been
live.
around you when you're not excited.
I'm a very
Good
energetic
point.
dude, man. I don't know. I can't help it.
Nah, bro, you're a happy dude, and that's love.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not like I want to
Oh,
be.
and see, I had my YouTube. There we go. All right, so just I'm give it like maybe a minute or so before I start the intro. I'm just gonna see who's coming in, say hi, all that good stuff. And yo, Weckless is already here. What's going on, Weckless? Man, I swear, yo, he's
That's
been
support right
yeah,
there.
he's been here for every podcast. Yo, dude, I appreciate your support, man.
Him and Chicken,
And
Jimmy,
Jimmy.
all of them,
Jimmy
Of
was
yeah.
on top
course,
of it
Jimmy.
too.
Yeah, Jimmy, I was getting nervous, man. I was like, yo, where is this guy at? All right, Chicken. You guys ready for a good show tonight, right? I'm finally writing. I at least write lists down for this podcast. Like my videos, my YouTube videos, and everything's like from the top of the head. But man, I try to stay organized for this podcast.
Yeah, you're doing good, brother. You're doing good.
Yeah. North, what's going on, North? Oh, Jimmy's got his beer. He's all set. Uh. All right. Seems everybody is comfortable. Everybody's sitting down in the front. I believe we are ready to go. You guys ready to see the new intro here?
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's do this. What's going on, people? Welcome to the next podcast. I am completely excited for this episode today. I am truly hyped. Not only do we have our special guest here, but we also have our mystery partner. So I want to go ahead and go down the line for the introductions and everything. So I'm going to start with the man of the hour. Now, I don't know if he knows this, but I might have used his name a little bit when promoting this episode today. It is the guy who brought back hashtag mooching, the guy that you would vote for the President of the United States, and that is Mooch.
What's good, buddy? I appreciate the invite, man. And yeah, hashtag mooching. It's got so many different meanings and so many different variations online. Pleasure to be here, man. You bring so much excitement to the Xbox community, and the only thing I'm running president for is the Xbox community. So that'd be about it. And thanks for having me, bro.
No doubt, man. You already know you won by a landslide, man. Let me go down. I'm gonna leave the mystery partner for last. Let me go down and hit the regular guys, the guys that have been here through every episode. So I'm going to start with that man who's just trying to talk to the intelligent gamers out there, and that is my boy, K Mega.
What's happening, everybody? It's your boy K Mega 405 live, and boy, this show is going to be really crunk. Cannot wait. E3 is done and over. We got a big cast, so man, let's get it going, man. Excited. Let's go.
Yeah, yo, let's do this, man. And of course, we got the man who started the Facebook community, Xbox News for Xbox Gamers. I swear, guys, if you want to see stuff like 2 or 3 days before it actually gets around in the media or biased media, but I'm just saying, if you want to see like news about Xbox and you want to see it early, you definitely want to get into this community, and that would be my boy NewarkNJ.
What's going on, everybody? Glad to be back for another week. Make sure you check out the group when you get a chance.
Yeah, definitely, dude, definitely. And of course, we have my my second in command when it comes to Halo 5. This dude, he might be a grenade magnet, man, but he'll take a bullet for you in that game, and that would be Fooskis.
Hey, what's good, people? Glad to be back. It's a good week. It's time to talk games, man. E3 was crazy.
Yo, definitely. I got a long list of stuff to talk about here. Let's move on to the next guy. That guy with that big fur coat just come walking down the street, man. Everybody part ways, kiss the ring. TheDon.
Oh man, it gets better every week. Hey, I'm just excited to be here, and it's shocking that E3 literally was 4 days ago. It feels like it just happened.
Dude, I want it to keep going, man. Like I forgot about the whole 3-day thing, and I'm like, what? It's done already, man. I got to do all the recaps of the gameplays and stuff like that. Like I'm still catching up. And then big news here. This guy has been with us basically from the beginning when the next podcast was just basically a couple little sketches and a little ideas on a piece of paper, and he's stuck with us. He's been there, in the background and stuff, and I am proud to announce this is his debut on this podcast. WindyCityGaming.
Yo, what's good? What's good? Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it, especially to the guys that have been here since day one. Let's do this. Let's talk games. Xbox for life, baby.
No doubt, man. I've been waiting for this day, man. I've been waiting to hear you on here, and it finally is happening, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Some people out there might be wondering what's going on with Oh Snaps. As you can see, if you're you're getting in on that chat, Oh Snaps is actually in the chat with you guys today. She has a lot of fun, in there typing and communicating with you guys. She might have a little surprise or two in the chat, so look out for that. But she is with us. And let's kick this off. A lot of people were talking about E3, right? And I've seen a lot of people talking about, the different conferences. Now, what I want to get the idea from the people in the panel, and even you guys out in the chat. So definitely, type it up over there. But I want to know about your overall impression about 2016's E3. And I definitely want to go to my special guest on this one. So, Mooch, your overall impression, the entire conference put together, and we're putting Bethesda and EA in there because even though they're a day early, to me, it's still all E3.
Right.
What was your overall general impression? Do you think it was a good showcase? Did you like where it's going with having that Sunday with the conferences? Let us know. What was your overall general impression of this year's E3?
Here's the deal. E3 this year was one of the best in the past 5. But you have to, if we're going to put this entire E3 in a nutshell, okay, because everyone's got to get a chance to talk, is Bethesda and EA, I never ever discussed them independently because their main games are shown on Microsoft and Sony's big stage. Mm-hmm. So we don't, to talk about what they did, we would just be redundant and going over the same shit over and over. My point is this. Microsoft came out, showed hardware upgrades for what we currently have. They showed hardware upgrades in what we want to have. And then they showed us games we're going to get. Okay? There's other places, there's other stages. Sony came out, showed us games that we're not going to be able to play for we don't know how long.
Yeah.
Games that we can play, like Horizon Dawn or whatever that thing is called, is another one of those typical games, okay, just like Infamous Second Son, where it's a beautiful background. No one's arguing or contesting any of that. But you have an enemy or some sort of challenge that's every 15 feet in a vacant area. It's another one of these things that Sony's trying to dazzle you with graphics, effects, but nothing's happening. And Guerrilla Games is already notorious for having absolutely no story.
Well, they from in their defense, I guess they did get a new writer. But did you hear? Shout out to Four Guys with Quarters. I believe it was Inferno on his podcast. He was talking about like he got to play Horizon Zero Dawn, and he says like in person it actually doesn't look that good, man.
Well, no, that's the other thing, right? I mean, and I'm going to agree with Inferno. I'm going to agree with you just said Xbox. They never ever actually have any. Look at what are we going to do? We're going to sit here and praise. Everybody's praising Uncharted 4. I played Uncharted 4 from beginning to end, bookend to bookend. It was okay. It was okay. It was nothing where I watched it and I was like, holy shit, I can't believe how amazing the graphics are. Plus, again, everything's very linear. When you have a linear game where you can't go left and you can't go right, you can only go straight, you can work more on the art. There's word on the street that Naughty Dog brought in over 100 artists. There's never that many artists involved in games. But when you have a linear type of game, you can have these guys come in and they can color in every shade of grass, and it's all smoke and mirrors, people.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I've been saying since day one.
If it's linear, then you're only going in this little kind of hallway direction. I mean, they can go absolutely crazy on the graphics to the left and to the right. That is, without a doubt, anybody who knows coding and development in games absolutely knows that. I do want to move on to the Don. Don, what did you think about the entire E3 conference as a whole?
I'm excited for a lot of new franchises that I haven't played from the Bethesda guys, and honestly EA. I've never been a huge fan of a lot of EA's games, so I've been pretty fired up about that. But yeah, Microsoft brought everything that I wanted and more, which was awesome. Sony, honestly, I feel like I've seen this time and time again. I've been to E3 way back in the day around PS2 era. And I remember when they had this like weird pyramid thing in the middle of their show floor demonstrating some sort of lighting on a face that we never saw on the PS2 ever, anything close to that.
Smoke and mirrors, like Mooch said, man.
They had Gran Turismo, like a small like clip of Gran Turismo playable on the PlayStation 2, but we didn't see graphics like that until PlayStation 3 era, right? And so they've been known to do this. Like it's, every year there's something, and then, most people just don't really call them out on it.
I got you, but the overall, everything that you saw at E3, where would you rank it in terms of the E3s that you've seen in the past?
It's all based on stuff I want to get, and honestly, Microsoft pretty much saved it for items I want to get. I'm probably going to get the Scorpio. I'm probably going to get the Slim.
I'm getting the Scorpio, man. There's no doubt about that.
I don't know. I've pre-ordered 5 games already on Amazon. So I mean, and paid for them. So I'm, that's the point of all this, right? Is to get people excited and get people buying games, and and so mission accomplished.
Definitely. Hey, Mega, in terms of the entire E3, man, you heard the question. What do you think about this 2016 E3 compared to ones from the past?
It was awesome. I mean, just for the fact that because we're mostly Xbox, we prefer Xbox. It's really awesome. But I know a lot of people knock EA, but I'm a sports fan, so I was excited about the new man, and of course FIFA. I'm really intrigued with Watch Dogs too, because of the black protagonist, and because it looks like it's going to be a better story than Aiden's story. And then I mean, Nintendo's conference was absolutely laughable. I wasted an hour and a half of my life watching that. I watched that whole thing just to watch 2 games. That was just pitiful. But all in all, man, it wasn't the best of all time. But I mean, it's up there because, like TheDon said, man, Microsoft saved it. So that's just my opinion.
Definitely. Yo, Windy, man, what do you got to say about this?
Well, overall, I think E3 every year. I mean, I love video games, so I mean, I don't even know what a bad show looks like unless you're Sony. But in general, I was really pleased with a lot of games that I saw, and the last couple of years, especially with Xbox been dealing with the media and stuff like that, I go into it, I'm like nervous. I'm expecting them to fuck up, and in reality, they came through, and I was just like, like from beginning to end. Even the stuff like the Minecraft part, okay, but you know what? That's making them billions. So, hey, I don't blame them for throwing it in there, But in general, I really do think what they did, they showed you what you wanted to see, and then some. Like Mooch said on his cast, you don't go to a car show to see cars coming out 2-3 years from now. You go to the car show to see what's coming out right now, and that's what Xbox did. They delivered. I'm happy. Next couple years are gonna be great, and basically the media can kiss my fucking ass.
Well,
Yeah,
here's
there
the
you
thing.
go.
And
I know
if you don't mind Xbox, I don't know if you let people chime in during your show. I just gotta
Oh yeah,
say,
definitely, man.
Windy knocked a home run right there, okay? That's the point I'm trying to drive at. If you look at the last two, because you said, how does this E3 hold up? The last two E3s was Microsoft showing you games coming out a year or maybe 2 years out, and they were criticized for that over and over again. I wish Microsoft would show us something that was coming out now, because, looking at Quantum Break, we've been looking at Quantum Break for 2.5 years now. Now Microsoft comes out guns blazing, telling you, here's 4 exclusives that you can only play on Xbox One this holiday, and then they get chastised again. And Sony comes out and shows you games, and I'm guaranteeing you, you're not playing that Norman Reedus game until at least 2019, bro. That is no way you're putting that thing in your system.
K Mega has a thing about that the Norman Reedus thing. What did you say about it, man? What was it?
Oh man! You talking
Babies
about
and man.
Oh yeah, the Kojima game. Oh
Yeah.
my god, man! Yeah, man ass and dead babies, dead crabs. You got to explain that to me. I understand that it might be a form of PT.
I think that game is going to be like how the Silent Hills was, but with a different name.
Yeah, but it's still strange as hell. I mean, you got to give me something better than man ass.
Yeah, I mean.
But see, Mooch made a great point. I mean, not for anything, but the last few years when it comes to Microsoft, they're showing games. Like they would show a game that's a year or possibly 2 years out, and he was right. They get chastised for, like, when's this game coming out? Like, we want to see stuff that we'll be able to play this year. And then all of a sudden, this year comes around, and Sony shows things without any release dates, tells people before time, well, the majority is like a couple years in the making, and nobody has a problem with this.
Yeah, now the new thing is that Xbox showed no exclusives because it's coming out on PC, not realizing the business behind it,
I would like everyone to kind of think back when they first announced the Xbox One and they talked about how many exclusives franchises they were working on, and everyone kind of laughed at them, and they're following through on their promise, right? I mean, we're just keep getting new stuff all the time.
Well, now I'm seeing a lot of them saying that they're going to send everything to Steam anyway.
Now, guys, like, not for anything, but you've been in the community long enough. You've seen what's been going on with the media and everything like that. I mean, seriously, what does Microsoft have to do to change minds? Is there anything they can do? Mooch, do you think there's any, like, solution to this whole thing, or?
No, I mean, the best thing you can do at this point is what they've done, okay? Because, listen, what has been created since 2013 is the only reason Sony has the numbers that they have is they did, in fact, okay, and I didn't think this happened the first year, but it did in fact happen. What I call the neutrals and flip-floppers have all went over to the PlayStation 4 because of the power, the media, the hype, the garbage. And now, to answer your question, Xbot, what Microsoft's doing now by they've listened to us, okay? That's not just a commercial. That's not just an ad. They literally this is the 4U console in the Scorpio. So they're going to get their power people back, the hype back. All those people that went to PlayStation are going to come home. And the best thing that they can do is what they're doing, make games. And let me tell you guys something. There's something that we talk a lot about on BGST that I don't know if you guys harp on here. A few of the people we happen to know, Tim Dog, Southbound, these guys that we talk to day in and day out, they actually hang out with Phil. Phil doesn't tolerate tardiness, okay? So what he does is he signs contracts, he checks on his studios, because he was in game development for the first 20 years of his career, okay?
Yeah.
So he knows what it takes to make a game. So the point I'm getting at here is he doesn't take the bullshit and delays. So when you see him ink somebody in 2.5, 3 years, I mean, everyone's development cycle is different. But in 2.5 to 3 years, that game's got to produce. It's got to come out. He wants it going gold. So what he's going to do as your captain, he's already giving you your hardware. All right, we asked for hardware. You got it. You're getting an HDR qualified, cheapest on the market 4K Blu-ray player this year. Actually, not this year. This summer. Okay. then you're getting the most powerful console on the market, and it will hold that title for 2 years after it launches because Sony can't afford to go through a hardware change twice or 3 times, in the same generation. So they can't. They'll hold the hardware title for at least 2 years, up to 2019, 2020. He's giving you that. So to answer your question in short, which, when you ask me a question, Xbot, forget about it. It's 15 minutes. I'm going to keep talking. But I mean, I don't ever shut up, so I want to apologize to the panel. But I mean, they are doing their job. And if you're a true gamer, you give a shit. You're getting the products on both ends. You got hardware. You've even got color-coded, organized controllers you can order. You've got an elite controller. I mean, they're giving you every aspect. The only thing that you said, all right, so Mooch, give me one thing you want. What I really want is I wouldn't mind an elite headset. But other than that, I've gotten everything and then some.
Oh, hold on.
So
when it comes to elite headset, Don, let people know what you found out when it comes to Microsoft signing a deal with a certain company.
Yeah, they have a partnership with HyperX. They make an amazing headset. If you imagine what an elite headset would be, it's that headset already. And it makes sense because the actual headset's designed for your console and your PC. All the attachments come all in the box and all that sort of stuff. So it's an official licensed headset from those guys. So we'll see if that partnership grows or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But if it does, yeah, look out for what those two can put together. It's gonna be pretty awesome.
Nice.
She-Wolf should be happy.
Well,
exactly.
She-Wolf said she isn't dealing with anything but Astros, and I did try to tell her. From the way Don has been preaching about these HyperXs, man, you definitely, like, I'm intrigued. I want to see what they're all about.
I have several different pairs of Astros, different levels, and I don't even touch those things. They're just packed away in the cabinet.
What do you use, Don?
I use the HyperX.
You do. You do me a favor. By no means, not right now, we're on a show, but later on, send me a link to those. I'd like to just take a look at them.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not really anything special to look at. They're kind of, honestly, really, really simple. They're not, like, trying to...
I mean, I have a pair of the Turtle Beaches, and I went for... Turtle Beaches are not good, but let me just say this much. I went for more of the... I wanted to have my hands... When you tell me wireless... Okay, let me explain to everybody in the audience here. When someone says wireless, I'm thinking wires not there. So,
What a concept.
Yeah, does that have to be on the side of the box? So actually Turtle Beach had come up with something where I have the Stealth X500s or something like that, X800s. These things are completely and utterly wireless. That means I have my headset on, I can walk into the kitchen, make a drink, I can have my controller in the living room, still talking to everybody in the party, and then come back. That is true wireless. I've been wanting to switch over to the Astros, the A50s, but even the A50 quote-unquote wireless is not wireless. It actually still has the dongle that goes from the top of the left ear down into your controller. So if you want to make a drink...
This is not wireless at all, to be totally honest with you.
And that's fine, Don. That's fine. I mean,
it's good, though. You'll like it.
But I sacrifice sound quality for wireless because the one I have, the sound is good. Is it great? No. Is it good? Yes. But it's wireless, and that meant something to me. But I'm willing to go back to the wire if I can find something. And I've been told by everybody in the business that the Astro, either A40s or A50s, are just outstanding. Now, you guys can tell me if that's false. I don't know. I don't own a pair of Astros.
I wanted a pair until this guy was talking about the hypers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're still good. I mean, don't get me wrong, but like once you've gone HyperX, you won't go back. Like, I mean, the quality, it's kind of like almost like an elite controller. The quality of the cord is that braided cord.
Okay.
The boom mic, even how the cups fit over your head. They almost have like a bearing like type feel to it, and everything's like metal.
What's the cost on those?
Like $150.
See, that scares me because that seems a little on the cheap side.
See, I was actually hoping when it came to headsets, I was hoping that Microsoft would strike a deal with Bose. Because back when I had a Mercedes-Benz Z280, and the sound system stock was Bose, and that sound was absolutely incredible.
What I found with Bose is, I like your point. I think Bose and headsets, that's what I'm actually using right now when I do podcasting. Bose and headsets and small radios are amazing. I think Bose, when you start to get into entertainment, or trying to like fill up an entertainment room or center, you lose a little with Bose, but I think you're onto something. I think their headsets are amazing.
Nice. Nice. Now, we kind of drifted off topic here. Well, it was a good talk with headsets, though. For people out there that don't know, you have the deal with HyperX when it comes to Microsoft, and so people that are like the Astros and stuff like that, just keep a lookout in terms of an elite headset, and if it is, it's most likely it's going to be HyperX. So you definitely would want to look into that. But getting back into this whole thing about E3 and what's been going on, I do want to touch, I know we touched on it last night as well, but this whole media swing when it comes to Microsoft's message and the Scorpio. Like we said before, Microsoft just can't seem to do anything right. People complain about so much. I know I did link you guys to the whole Digital Foundry thing about Scorpio. Did you guys watch that?
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah,
All
that
right.
was terrible.
Now, I can tell you from my sources that the Scorpio is going to have the Zen processor in it. Now, do any of you guys actually go to Digital Foundry for these analyses anymore?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, I was going to call on you too, Mega. It's like, what do you think about the Digital Foundry thing when it comes to the Scorpio? Like, oh man, you take it away. Go ahead.
Man, it's the same rhetoric over and over again. See, the only way that you can actually see if the tide is turning is just read the comments. And it's just like for when you showed me the Colin show.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Please, I can't wait
when they were
to
showing that, everybody, when you hear everything from what the media says, just read the comments. And all in the comment section, they were saying, hey, the Xbox the Scorpio sounds cool. I'm getting one. I'd like this thing about the whole strategy of they going all platform. Oh, I could just buy one game and I can play on the PC too. All of that is based on, what the customer is thinking, not what the media is saying. So I think finally the message is getting across.
Nice.
And that was something that didn't happen in 2013, so which means that all we got to do is just read the comments, stay away from the media, and we'll be okay.
Well, with the Scorpio, you're taking away that I guess you could say that casual news thing that's become popular when it comes to like power and consoles. But Newark, I know you're into the whole tech thing and everything like that. Dude, did you see the Digital Foundry analysis when it comes to the specs of the Scorpio, and what did you think about it, dude?
I think it's too early, just like K Mega was saying, I was reading the comments. You still had people that wanted to jump on there, but I also seen a couple of comments up there about the fanboys up there saying they bet that it won't do 4K, and it'd be 4K at 30. Like, it was a whole bunch of negative comments also.
But Digital Foundry actually fueled that though. When you watch the analysis, they're like, well, based on the specs, first of all, they said it wasn't going to use the Zen processor. All right. Second of all, when they're talking 6 T-flops on the Scorpio, when Phil Spencer is saying that, they're saying on the GPU. They're not saying the hardware as a whole. The hardware as a whole, if you put the Zen processor in it, could perform better than 6 T-flops. T-flops is like an overall performance standard, right? But they tried to sway you away from the Zen processor, and then they tried to say, well, I'm not sure about 4K at 60 frames per second. They're like, I'm thinking more like the 12 something or other resolution, and then just kind of upscale to 4K, which will still look good.
Yeah.
Like,
a lot of people in the comments were saying 1440p and making fun of it, saying like they'll say one thing, but we know when it comes to like real world performance, it won't happen. So you still have delusionals out there, but Digital Foundry, they fuel a lot of stuff that's going on. They like a big part of what's going on now with this generation.
Definitely.
As far as the resolution and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Go ahead, Wendy.
No, I just want to say, when Neo dropped that, it's rumored to be 4 point whatever teraflops. Did they make a video talking about the same shit?
Not at all.
And that's where my problem is. All fucking Phil Spencer said was 6 T-flops. That's it. And we got a fucking video. We got the fucking ponies coming out of fucking nowhere with their bullshit. And to me, it's just a lot of jelly going on. It's a fucking jelly sandwich for all the fucking ponies and a lot of sites.
Good point, Wendy. It's the truth, though, because when Neo was first brought up, there was multiple reports, multiple videos on all media sites just talking about, wow, Microsoft really in trouble. The Neo's going to put them further into the ground. We see next generation already coming out. You got engineers. They made a dedicated video. Plus, Phil comes out and says 6 T-flops, and now we're asking Phil Spencer, like he's a Best Buy employee, how many HDMI's? Do I need a 4K TV? Phil, can you come to my house and measure my room? Like, what is going on? This is the hypocrisy we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, that's ridiculous too, to think that there's not enough power there to do anything other than 4K. I mean, come on now.
Yo, you have the developers. You have the developers saying it could run high-end VR. We're talking like Oculus and Vive. We're not talking about the Play School VR or anything like that. So it's got the power, man. It's got the punch, and it's totally disheartening when you see. You guys know I'm a tech guy, man. I research tech stuff I don't like understand. I will sit there and I will learn it just so I can give it to my subscribers, to the people that watch me. I could give the truth. All right.
Yep.
And to see these guys wear this tech title and then just use it. I mean, come on, their channel is strictly for clicks, for views. So like you can see them fueling this whole debate. And they're actually, I mean, they're basically lying to the people that are watching their videos right now.
The fucking chip said 4K on it. I mean, it was in the fucking video.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Come on. Why would they do that knowing there's a possibility it ain't going to do it?
Right, and really it makes the ponies look really, really stupid before the fact, because most of them don't have PCs, and so they read this and they watch this, and so when they come and they try to bring out this terminology, they sound like absolute fools because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. You're a console gamer. Calm down. Just wait and see what goes on, because that's what you do when you see the PlayStation Neo in effect, because that damn sure wasn't the PlayStation 4. You know what I'm saying? That was showing those games. So let's just be honest with that.
And then they still have to realize that resolution is not graphics. Like, can you imagine what kind of graphics we're going to get? 6 teraflops.
Imagine
And
what kind of
guess what,
everything we're gonna
ponies? Guess what, ponies? Scorpio's going to have more shades of grass.
More
Get
blades.
used to it. More blades of grass. Get used to it.
But go ahead, Will. Like you were saying, I like where you're going with that. Resolution is definitely not graphics, man.
Yeah, a lot of them were saying that you need a 4K TV. Like,
No,
you can watch a 4K video on a 1080p TV. It will look better than like 1080p, but it won't be 4K. But it will still look good. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm sure the graphics on the Scorpio will be amazing.
Well, we actually do. We do have a guy for that. We have a 3D graphics renderer right here in TheDon. Now, Don, when it comes to games rendering at 4K, you have hardware that is rendering a game at 4K. You have a 1080p TV. Are you going to see improvements to that game?
Yes.
Now, why is that, man?
Well, I mean, it's breaking down a couple different ways, right? So and this is just talking about Microsoft because they're the only ones that brought anything to the table.
No
Right.
jab right there.
Well, no, it is what it is, right? So you can play any 720p, 1080p resolution image and upscale to a 4K television. It's going to look better. It fills in the gaps, right? I mean, that's what it does, right? That's what upscaling does.
Yeah.
You have, which is actually the most bang for your buck for performance, HDR, what you're seeing in the Slim.
Mm-hmm.
Not all 4K TVs do HDR. Keep this in mind, right? So you have to get an actual HDR TV. But I'll tell you right now, HDR will have more of an effect on the visual quality of your image than the 4K will. And that's being offered in the Slim. Basically,
but dude, it's like you're cursing right now because this whole generation has been about resolution.
Yeah, well, they're nobodies. Anyway, so... but the reality is, I mean... basically what we're seeing in color today is equivalent to what a 480p TV was, right? HDR is equivalent. It's that jump, like when we went from like a 480i, 480p TV to anything high def, 720, 1080p.
Okay.
It is basically doing that for color. I mean, it's not.
Don's right. He's knocking it right now. He's hitting it right where it's supposed to be. Let me tell you, Inferno, who is not, he's definitely leans, I think, a little bit more Xbox, but he's totally a middle of the road kind of guy. From Four Guys with Quarters, came back, said he played Gears on the Xbox One Slim with the HDR, and he also played Gears on Windows 10 4K. And he said, right hand to God, Mooch, he goes, I swear on everything holy, the color and the look that came off of the game system on the HDR Slim was much more impressive to him. He said that's what the color differential did for him. That was amazing.
I said the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah, because people are nearsighted, farsighted, so not everyone's going to pick up on the 4K, right? There's a diminishing return as you go higher and higher resolution, right?
Mhm.
But that's one. It's like a sideways step that we've just been ignoring for the longest time, and because we didn't have the bandwidth, and that's what the new HDMI is doing. But to be honest with you, if the current Xbox One had a little bit more of a buffer and a little bit more of, basically the latest HDMI, it could do HDR as well. That's kind of what the Slim is.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't really require much more power. There's actually game development conferences. It actually doesn't take much more effort on the developer side, changing the values of the different shaders and materials that they use on a model. So it's actually something we're talking about, probably anywhere from kilobytes to megabytes of an update to make HDR work on an existing title, if someone wants to put the effort in.
All right. Now,
So-
see, what I was trying to talk about is, like, say you have this Scorpio, all right, and it's rendering the game in 4K. You have it plugged into a 1080p screen, right?
Mhm.
The game, from what I know from, like, studying tech and stuff like that, the game is still going to look better coming from that machine because the textures and everything are going to be rendered at a higher rate and stuff. You're not going to get the full, what Phil Spencer said, the 4K experience, but your games are going to look better. Now, am I just, like, blowing hot air on this, or
No. I mean, there's several different things, and you can go super in depth. But what Phil was talking about is mostly downsampling, and that's what people got confused about. But what you're talking about is assets due to more horsepower, right?
Exactly.
So you have a 4K texture. 4K texture is not a 4K image, right? It's not a 4K output, right?
Yeah.
It's basically the resolution of a texture wrapped around an object, right?
Mhm.
So when they say 4K, we don't know if they're going to do 4K textures. We don't know any of that stuff. I mean, it's going to do really high resolution textures, much better than what we have right now because of the bandwidth that you're seeing in the RAM. But yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's going to look better. I mean, the anti-aliasing is going to be better because it's more powerful hardware. The lighting source is going to be better because it's more powerful hardware.
Basically, what you're saying, all the way around, it's more powerful hardware. It's going to be able to do things better. It's going to be able to show things better. Textures, like you said, lighting, and those are the things that really affect the way a game looks. But
just think about. Sorry to cut you off. Just think
go
about
ahead.
most of the PC gamers out here. Like, a lot of them don't have 4K monitors. They have a 1080p monitor running everything on ultra settings.
Yeah.
Why would they be doing that?
Better visuals.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yo,
Well,
Mooch,
that's
you
what
see,
we gotta hop on, right?
you see
we
my
gotta
tech
hop
guys
on.
here?
Say again?
I said, you see my tech guys here, man? These guys, like,
Listen, I want to hop on what he was just saying. He's right. Listen, 3 or 4 weeks ago, everybody was like, give me 1080p, 60 frames per second, or give me death. When you get the Scorpio, you don't have to have a 4K TV. You will still start to get the games that you've always desired, whether they be the old ones that were created with dynamic resolution or the new ones coming. Imagine being able to know that when you pop any game in Scorpio come next fall, that you're going to be able to play any single-player game at 1080p 60. That's nasty. That's
Nasty.
nasty alone.
Yeah, that's real sad.
Halo 5 is scalable.
Exactly.
Well, and that was another thing that was said that Phil said in the interview. He was saying that even the backwards compatible games, like right now, you see, I'm trying to advertise my gameplay. That they were saying that the backwards compatible games will be upscaled, and that's the beautiful thing about this Scorpio, because it's just like a PC. When you have emulators, they get upscaled. It's strong. It's going with the power of your PC. So if you have a high-end PC, those emulators will process better and look better. Those older games will. So it will happen the same way with the backwards compatible game. So it's set. The bar is set. Killer feel is in full effect, man.
You said upscale, but actually, what we're talking is the native resolution will be higher. It's not necessarily upscale. Like, so it's even better than upscaling. It's native resolution's higher. So.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
one title can be upscaled unless they can patch it or something like that.
You're turning a little robot there, Will. So,
well,
I think
it's
you'll
like
be all right, though.
it's like the closest example I can give is like take a lot of people play mobile games when they're taking shit or whatever. Take like Clash of Clans. Go play it on the iPhone 4 and go play it on the 6S. What looks better? It's a significant difference, you know?
Right.
And that's like the closest example that I can give as of right now, because a lot of people don't game on PC. And there's people that game on PC, they got $1,000 rigs, and they still play on the lowest settings so they can have a better frame rate.
Mm-hmm. Now,
Microsoft did all this with something else in mind too, guys. Let's keep something in mind. And I'm going to use myself, okay? I'm the guinea pig here, okay? I should never use the word never, because you never know what's going to happen. But I currently, and as far as me concerned, tomorrow will never be buying or building a PC rig to play games. I've been a console dude since the day I picked up my first controller. So that's me through and through. But the one thing I did do and will do is I'm looking very, very much into a desktop that's not PC gaming, but that can handle or a super laptop, because this whole Play Anywhere thing that Microsoft has, don't just snicker that off. That's a big deal. And I think a lot of people on this panel have kids, have a family, have people utilizing their TVs. There is something about being able to say, forget if you go on travel for work, then it's just fantastic. But if you just can take a powerful enough laptop that doesn't cost that much money, go into another room, just bring your new Bluetooth controller out there and just jam out on a game while your family's watching something in the living room. There's something to be said to be able to play the game anywhere and take it anywhere with you. And what Microsoft's doing is they're embracing the PC. Okay, they're embracing this. They're not telling you have to. They're giving you options, okay? If you go to an ice cream stand and one place gives you the options for 100 sprinkles, we all know you either want chocolate or rainbow sprinkles, but the point of the matter is give me the other 98 options. I'll never use them. That's fine. Why go to the place that's only got just the rainbow? It doesn't work out that good. So my point is that Neo and Andrew House came out, who the president of Sony came out the other day and said basically the purpose for Neo was to deter gamers from leaving the console space and going to PC. Microsoft's done the complete opposite of that in the fact that they are trying to say, look, play on PC, play on Xbox, we don't give a shit, because they don't have to give a shit. They own, I've said this many times, they own 2/3 of the gaming market. So when people make a comment to you guys on Twitter, that goes for the audience of this panel, and they're like, well, that's fine, Microsoft doesn't have exclusives, I'll just buy it on PC. Be like, help yourself.
Yeah,
By the way,
ahead.
help yourself. Microsoft's excited you're doing that. Thank you.
Because you gotta have an operating system to play those games. And a lot of those games will not play on the Mac or on Linux. So where else are you going to go? It's just that simple, man.
Well,
I mean, that whole exclusive
just
talk is
make-
just
yeah.
absolutely
not only
stupid.
that, I mean, if you look at it,
Makes sense.
Microsoft was aiming for the future. They worked closely with AMD with making the software of DirectX 12. DirectX 12 is a very flexible API that can deal with that not so expensive, freaking laptop that Mooch was talking about. You still get a great quality game being played on there. They have the Play Anywhere. They set all of this up from the beginning for what? For the consumers, to give them choices. It's not difficult. And I am, personally, I am offended by the way the media is trying to make this confusing for people. Like, seriously, there shouldn't be a question. All right, you want an entry-level Xbox, entry-level that's gonna look good, it's gonna play your games really good. All right, you're planning on getting into 4K maybe later on, so you're gonna look at the HDR in it. You're gonna get the Slim. You're gonna buy it this year. You're gonna get the Slim. For those hardcore gamers that wanna like talk about what they have within that console, and for the people who are measuring resolution and T-flops and stuff like that, you have your console coming at the end of 2017. It's not that hard, yo. I mean, does anybody agree with, it's pretty simple what Microsoft is doing for their consumers.
Yeah, just giving them options, and I mean, I thought that's what everybody wanted. If you don't want, said that the original Xbox One is going to be cheaper. You're going to get the option to get 3 versions of the Slim, of the Slim, and then you're going to have the Scorpio. I mean, what else do you want?
And the 3 versions, like let's just say the 3 versions of the Slim, it's not like rocket science between them. It's just the size of the freaking hard drive. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? How much memory do you want before you have to think about plugging in an external? You know what I'm saying? Not rocket science.
It's not. It's not. It's just people just want to complain to complain. I understand that PlayStation is built on emotion for a lot of people. It is. I mean, they pull
Yeah,
on
it is.
they pull on the strings of people's emotions for the nostalgia. But the fact of it is that PlayStation is not even better than its predecessors. So why are you still and it's still lagging behind when it comes to actual true content and giving it to you at a timely manner? How are you still going to keep trying to let them win E3, force the public to say that they won E3, but they haven't. Their content's not even going to come out, like Mooch said, until 2019. You know what I'm saying? Some might be delayed until 2020.
Mega, you
Well,
remember what Chicken Spaghetti said, man? He's like, yo, those games, I'll be happy to introduce those games to my children. When I think he said when they're like in 5th grade. He's like, and I don't even have children right now.
That's hilarious.
K-Meg is on point right now. He said the same thing, and this is the point. Crap Gamer said this too. We're talking 2018 is when you can see any of those games you saw, not even that Kojima game. That's 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
But all the other games, let's just say 2018.
Well, they'll run out of
not
money.
Not even Uncharted 4 came out on time, and that's their flagship. So these games, even if they have planned for end of 2018, you know that's going to get 1 or 2 bump delays. These games, Sony came out and showed you trash. They showed you absolute garbage. The games were all CGI. They had a 25-minute VR experience. Notice I didn't say VR games. VR experience. That was you putting on a headset that cost way too much money, and you were going to get 1, if not 2 acts in a particular game. Why would you choose to take your hard-earned money and go put your money towards something that is, by the way, a lot of other things are coming in. Other news reports are coming in that people got ill off of playing the PlayStation VR. People are reporting that there's something wrong with the ventilation as well in the PSVR, where the goggles are fogging up as you have the helmet on for more than 20 minutes.
Wow.
These are all credible sources. This is not moochery, all right? This is
Not moochery. New name.
Not much.
Well,
something happening. And this is my point. All you saw was smoke and mirrors. If you asked a typical fan that watched that show at their home, they would have been like, it was okay, I guess. Sony. The only reason we're even having the conversation that Sony won something is because the media is duping people into thinking that they won it because they claim it. They self-proclaim Sony the winner.
Now, Mooch,
so, I mean, go ahead.
Mooch, when it comes to the VR and what they talked about with the VR experience, if you want, just shed light, with everybody that's watching what we were talking about. I mean, the highlight for that whole quote-unquote VR experience was Resident Evil, right?
Yeah, and this is the thing. The article came out the day after. To anybody who's listening to this show or the panel, we were talking off air. Everything you saw in the VR experience during Sony's E3 show that showed you Resident Evil 7, that was if you guys, let me just take you back, I'll refresh everyone's memory. It was when the individual woke up somewhat in an attic location, kind of groggy, saw the mannequins, and then walked down the stairs, looked left, looked right, and then saw like a man walking through a door, but then walked through the door and nothing was there. Of course, all this it took about 5 minutes for them to do what I just said. That entire clip is not in the game. It's not in the game, people. So what you saw is complete trickery. It's made up by Sony. Remember something. Sony makes a lot of movies. They know how to do really good things to fool people. Okay?
I never put those two together, man.
And actually, if you look at that Resident Evil piece, it didn't even look like Resident Evil. It looked like PT.
Yeah,
it looked like PT.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was the whole thing that really confused me, because I'm like, really, this is Resident Evil? And then to come to find out that the game is not even going to be a true exclusive. It's going to be a timed exclusive. That's what's really surprising to me. Like, when people got all excited about that piss water ass conference last year in December, that Sony whatever that was experience, and people tried to make that to like that show was anything, that was the worst. I mean, the worst gaming show conference I've ever seen in my life. It was the most boring thing ever. And
I like actually out of the Sony conference, I liked the God of War, and I forgot the zombie game or whatever.
Well, I'm not talking about this conference. I'm talking about back in December when they showed that experience.
The PlayStation experience or the Paris.
That was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. And if the media is going to try to point that out to be worthy, then what do you think that they're going to do when they just show a game that a lot of people are anticipating and wanting to see?
Well, Mega, when you're touching on the media, I did want to move on to the next thing, and I know Windy City, man, he's been like biting at the bit to get onto this topic. I watched the video. It was kind of like a reflection on the Microsoft conference by, of course, Kind of Funny Games, and Mooch's favorite guy. How do you say Colin, dude? It's like Colin or But I was watching these guys. First of all, when you talk about timed exclusives, I do want to touch on this. I've been trying to look into the whole Dead Rising 4 thing. Now, from the panel, is Dead Rising 4, like, is that a year timed exclusive?
No.
No?
No, from what I understand, it's exclusive. It's just coming to Steam.
Yeah, Andrew House said it himself when he had an interview with when he was talking to the panel later on. I think it was like on Wednesday or Thursday, and they asked him about that, like, well, is it going to be timed? And he says no. He said it is exclusive to Xbox, and he says it will also come on Steam. And if you look on Steam right now, Dead Rising 4 is on there. So that leads me to believe, and I'm not going to go too far into it, but it leads me to believe that Steam and Microsoft is going to have some kind of partnership along the way when the Scorpio comes out. I just feel it.
I can definitely see that.
On top of that, Aaron Greenberg basically corrected Colin in person about that as well. They actually had a second interview with Aaron Greenberg. It was actually an interesting interview. And Aaron Greenberg said, well, and it's kind of a little bit of a jab towards people like Colin and other people in the media where they said, well, people are really sensitive about the word exclusive, but we are publishing it, and we're not publishing it on other platforms.
Boom.
Gotcha.
And just called it a day.
Now check this out. As I was watching their video, something struck me like right off the beginning of this place. Yo, tell me why this guy Colin, he went and he started quoting people from NeoGAF. I don't know if you guys saw this, but he was like, "Oh yeah, with them showing the Scorpio." Now, remember, Microsoft is saying the Scorpio is a part of the Xbox One line of devices, right? They said that with them showing the Scorpio, that basically Microsoft is saying, "Oh yeah, well, PlayStation, you won this generation completely." Dude, I want to know how you guys feel about that, because like I almost, like, my jaw dropped. Like, really, you're going to talk about that, knowing that it's Xbox One devices? You have the X1 in the house now. You have the entry level for people just getting into it now, and then you have at the end of 2017 that more powerful Scorpio. It doesn't look like Microsoft is shattering the whole lines of generations and stuff. So I don't know. Foos, did you see that? What did you think when you saw that? Did that strike a chord with you at all? I gotta know, man.
That's ridiculous. All I have to say is play anywhere. I mean, I can play it on my Xbox. I can play it on my Scorpio if I get it. I can play on the Slim. I can take all my accessories with me, all my games. Come on.
Definitely. All right. Yo, Mooch. I don't know if you were able to check out the video or not, but what do you think about them going, and the first thing that they went to do was quote NeoGAF? I'm talking like the first 15 seconds of their video. Yeah.
Which one? Now, I do tune in on a lot of their show because you got to know what the enemy's doing. So I mean,
keep your friends close, your enemies even closer.
Enemies
right?
closer, absolutely.
It was the one where it was after. It wasn't their live reactions, all right. And I know Windy loves that Geddes do live reaction over Crash Bandicoot, but it was the it was the Microsoft.
I'll get into that.
It was after the Microsoft's conference. They did kind of like their overall analysis. I mean, they gave props to them in terms of the overall conference. The speed, how they started it with hardware real quick, then went into game. They did give compliments that way. But
was that the sorry to cut you off. Was that the one with the original Xbox creator was on?
No, it was just the three
No.
guys. It was just
Yeah.
it was
So he didn't
Geddes,
seem like
it
he
was
was that happy also.
Colin,
No,
and it was-
Newark's talking about. Will's talking about. That was an IGN show, and that dude did not like the people that were on that channel at all. He basically called them Sony fanboys on the Twitter he put out afterwards. But Colin, and I think I saw part of that show. You got to remember something. Like, I can only watch so much of that shit
that's
'cause
why
you
I
get
asked.
angry while you watch it. And I mean, I did see some of it. They did give props to the hardware, I believe, but I think that was the episode where they kind of bashing a little bit the games. And I don't know the Colin part that got me pissed off, and I don't think it's the same episode, but they made like 20 episodes in 2 days. After
they did,
event.
man. They flooded the YouTube.
They flooded the market with it. I mean, these guys that's their bread and butter. Remember, they all eat off of that, so they have to pump out as many videos as possible, whether they repeat themselves or not.
Yeah.
But they were the part that pissed me off was Colin Moriarty was saying and telling everybody. Remember, Pony Nation tunes into that. He was telling everybody that Dead Rising 4 is definitely coming out to PlayStation 4.
Yeah, and I fucking literally laughed out loud when he said that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing that says it's coming to PlayStation. It's an Xbox One exclusive, but then it's going to go to Steam.
It's only for a year. It's a year, exclusive for a year. They got like a year deal on Dead Rising.
But I think it's because then it's going to Steam after that.
And
That's it. Yeah, it's just going to Steam. That's it.
Yeah.
Just like Dead Rising 4. Just like Dead Rising 4. Dead Rising 4 is in Steam.
Oh yeah, you were right.
You see,
Correct.
Yeah.
during that whole show, while they're giving props, if you really listen closely, maybe it's me being the sensitive Xbox guy, I don't know, but I felt like they're taking little pop shots as well. You know, like, oh, they put on a good show, but they're not interested in anything, you know? And like that fucking pussy Greg Miller, he's from Chicago, and let me tell you, that guy would like to smack the shit out of his dorky ass. But he goes in, he talks about how he don't use his Xbox unless it's for Skype.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, but then he goes into like, but that controller, I'm gonna buy one. Microsoft don't need your support, bro. You know what I mean? Like, just don't even.
Let them get their money. Let them get their money. The thing that Miller had me tripping on is when he talked bad about Scalebound, and he said
I was gonna get into that. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if Scalebound was on the PlayStation, just think of how they would have acted.
They would have been.
They would have acted like Geddes when he saw Crash Bandicoot, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They would have been humping their seats and everything, dude.
But all of them, Scalebound does nothing for them. But yeah, you got Tim Geddes literally looking like my fucking 5-year-old daughter because Crash Bandicoot was going to be remade. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, and then
you know
when off of what was that, Skylanders? I mean, and nobody knows when the and see, this is what's going to be funny because it's Activision, right? Yeah, it's in development and it's Activision. So what makes you think Activision is going to keep those rights exclusive to Crash Bandicoot to only the PlayStation?
That is a very, very good point. Hey, Mooch, did you ever think about that when it comes to Activision? Because like they are money hungry. So
yeah.
Well,
I just had Crash Bandicoot on
the whole
Xbox.
Crash thing to me, I thought was a complete joke. Like Sony took the time on their E3 display, on their actual like floor, prime time. Like they had Sean Layden walk out with the shadow, if you will, of Crash. He came out the year before looking like an absolute dipstick, like with that Crash Bandicoot T-shirt that was 2 sizes too small for him. And he ends up coming out there and he's getting the crowd hyped, right? This is the same thing that happened last year with Final Fantasy. Crowd was hyped. They're like, we're getting the Crash Bandicoot 4. We're getting the real deal. And they're like, no. You're getting 1, 2, and 3 remastered. Who wants to play Crash Bandicoot 1 in 1080p? Where it's just that silly, it's like Pitfall in the north-south. It's just the stupidest thing I've ever seen. But they're clapping and everyone's like lighting a match. People are fainting in the stands.
Well, see,
I got a question for you, Mooch.
You have to see the video though of Geddes going nuts. I mean,
don't
holy
do
shit.
it.
No, you have to because Mooch has
He's gonna
to.
puke in your mouth, man.
He's got problems. That Tim Geddes. But one thing Tim Geddes did do, I don't know if you guys saw this, was he actually twisted things around and kind of put Greg Miller in his place. He shot down The Last Guardian.
Actually, I did not see that, man. I
See
definitely
that?
I want to see that.
Guardian, he said it looked like a PS2 game, and the controls on it left him feeling like this was an awful version of something that would have
Dude,
been a
it's a
remake.
PS3 game. Like I don't
know.
Yo.
It looks like an indie though. It looked like an indie
But
type.
Greg Miller was sitting there like eyes wide. You know, you guys all know. We all have the same hatred for these people. Like the eyes wide open in those ridiculous glasses that he wears, where the eyes were bigger than the bifocals themselves. And he's like kicking Tim under the table, be like, "Don't talk shit about it. Don't talk shit about it."
This is a Sony channel. Shut the fuck up.
Right, exactly. This is our bread and butter. Yoshida's like listening. You know, it's like, but that's the bullshit. That is what it is. You have people that defend bad games because it's on a PlayStation. And you know what the other thing is? How about this is where I go back to my American pride thing. Why do you have all these American people over in California fucking all over Sony's junk? Like, what has Sony done for you lately, right? We say this with sports teams, right? I'm a big sports guy, too. We don't talk about it on video game podcasts. But, like, it's what have you done for me lately? What has Sony done for you lately? Why are you so far up their ass you could taste the sushi? What's happening over there that I don't understand? You know, I'm over here looking at Microsoft's giving us games, hardware, new controllers. Somebody complained that flip-flopper of all time, the king flip-flopper, Arsenal. There's a dead zone. There's a dead zone. There's no dead zone, asshole.
It's your favorite word, man. It's nostalgia, bro.
Yeah, the nostalgia is a drug, man. It's a powerful drug. I don't understand what in the world people like. Why are we all hung up? I've been playing video games since the '80s. I don't want Qbert in 1080p. Okay, I don't want it.
That's why I'm not a big fan of like these indies that look like games from the 80s. I've already been there. I've already done that. I want something that looks like We Happy Few.
Exactly. Thank you.
That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. It's been 3 years, people. I understand that you might have a preference with the PlayStation, and that's all well and good because we're all gamers. But the fact of it is that one company is busting their ass. They're doing everything right to acquire your business. And then one company is just selling you on dreams and hopes, and you're still saying that it's okay? Keep taking my money, keep making me look like an idiot? I'm sorry, it's just the truth. If Microsoft was doing this, I would be just telling the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just ridiculous. We're consumers at the end of the day. Next Gen say that all the time, and it's absolutely right. We are consumers, and we have to be aware that this company is doing. Microsoft is doing everything right at this point. The sins of 2013 are washed away. Killer Phil in full effect, man.
Killer Phil.
Phil the president.
Yeah, everybody out there in Twitter land, man, you got hashtag Killer Phil. That's gotta be a thing right there.
Killer Phil.
Yeah, I mean, and still going back to like the kind of funny, you know, they made it a point, like they literally said no release date for Cuphead. What the fuck? They got a lot of nerve when like 95% of their fucking games don't come out until my fucking kids have kids. You know what I mean?
Yo, Windy, you are the man. Like I still can't believe that. Not only that, yo, if you check like IGN, which is another, oh my goodness, like I try to stay as far away from IGN as possible. All right, at least kind of funny, just for some of the stupid shit that they say, can actually be somewhat humorous to me at points in time. But then I start thinking about kind of like the damage that it does within the community. I don't really like that. But IGN actually voted Spider-Man PS4 as their biggest surprise award for E3.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Yeah, that's pathetic.
Like, not for anything. What does Microsoft comes out and says that we're developing a monster machine that you know, it goes above and beyond what you thought this generation should be. You guys were saying 1080p. We're going to give you 4K. All right? You guys were saying 4 T-flops was amazing. We're giving you 6 T-flops in this GPU. And the biggest surprise is Spider-Man PlayStation 4.
If Spider-Man was on Xbox, guaranteed, they would have never chosen that.
They would have picked Crash Bandicoot as like the biggest surprise, yo. Never saw that coming.
It would have been death threats if it was exclusive on Xbox.
But
you already know the developers always get it bad when something goes exclusive on Xbox.
But
unbelievable.
I don't know. What do you guys like think about that whole like biggest like surprise award? Yo, we're gonna go with the Don here. Don, what did you think when you heard that, man?
I'm surprised anyone's excited for a Spider-Man game, to be honest.
Don't go there. Don't go there, man. I am a Spider-Man fan.
But there's been some good ones, but to be honest with you, there's been a lot of bad ones in between, right?
That's something from Spider-Man fans that we complain about all the time is when are we going to get a good Spider-Man game? not this like regurgitated shit that they try to sell us.
So I can't look at that game and not think, even though it's a totally different developer, I can't not think of those other bad experiences, right? And if it's one, it'd be forgivable, but there was many of offenses about it. And it's another Spider-Man game. How can you get that excited? It's like getting excited about another Call of Duty. You'll like it, but it's not a surprise, right?
I got you.
So I mean, you show us something we haven't seen before, like a franchise that we haven't seen before, then I can subscribe to that. Like, even, and I'm not a big fan of this game, but that zombie game that PlayStation had, even that's a better choice than Spider-Man.
Yo, thank you for bringing that up, but that Days Gone, I pointed it out in the live reaction. I want to know what people thought, all right? The whole idea of having zombies flood the way they did in DayZ, or was it World War Z? Yeah. All right. That's a pretty cool effect. I did like it in the movies. But did you guys see, like, the zombies, when they really started getting bunched up and close together, they started having seizures? The game itself, like, the zombies were glitching out. I don't know if I'm the only one that saw this. Yo, Mooch, did you see that, like, when they were showing that gameplay?
Let me tell you what I saw. I saw a game that mimics too many other games, and to me was a sign of a white flag waving back and forth. That's what I saw when I saw that game. That game is The Last of Us, Dead Rising, and everything else that's background scenery for the last Uncharted, all mixed into. That's a bunch of people being like, that. Literally, let me explain to you what that is. That game, Days Gone, is mooching. Those people, the developers all sat down and they were like, okay, guys, so what can we steal from? I got an idea. How about The Last of Us? Yeah, people like that. Good idea. How about the background drops in Uncharted? Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that too. Hey, how about Dead Rising's zombies, like where we have them all just, instead of them all walking at us, we'll have them like coming at us in World War Z. Great idea. Who the hell came up with that? Us. Okay. And they're writing all this shit down. And like, none of this shit was original. Plus, it's just, you could tell there's just, first of all, there was reports that came out the next day after it was shown at the Sony E3 presser that nobody was on the floor playing that game. Nobody.
Very good point, man. I was actually going to bring that up. No hype.
It's a that's the problem. And let me explain. I want to get something. I'm going to switch subjects slightly, Xbot, and I apologize. I'm going to go back to the Neo here. The Neo is already dead. And let me explain why it's already dead. You've got the PS4, which has already been promised to you by Sony. It's going to play every title that comes out this day forward, okay? And then you have Project Scorpio coming out sometime around 8 to 10 months after Neo. Do you understand that Neo is dead on delivery? There's already a game console more powerful than the Neo. So it's the power conversation is already dead in its tracks. And if you already have a PS4, we all know Sony fans are the cheapest ones out there. People say that Microsoft doesn't go out and maybe Microsoft fans don't go buy new IPs, like run out to knock their kids over to go buy it. I get that, right? We don't do that. Nobody does that. But when it comes down to it, here's a little prop to you, Xbot. Halo 5 made $400 million in 6 business days, people. 6 business days. And then we had one of the head guys over there, I can't remember if it was Frank, somebody over from 343, came out and said that they sold somewhere around, 5 million copies in 3 months or something?
Over 5 million.
Over 5 million. And you have over a month, and you're like at 2.7 million or something like that. There's just no comparison when it goes flagship to flagship. So getting back to this game here, the problem that Sony's running into now is their creative gene pool is getting real shallow. It's getting real shallow. They don't have the games coming out like they used to. And Insomniac, props to Insomniac. Great developer. But let me tell you something. Anybody who's looking forward to this game, the very best you're going to get out of the Spider-Man game is basically Sunset Overdrive, but instead of a telephone pole you hang from, it's just going to be the web that slings from building to building. Now, that's not a bash, but let me be honest with you. There has been, and I know, Xbot, you don't want to hear this, but the past 3-4 Spider-Man games, they've been nothing but trash.
No, I totally agree with you with that, man. I'm hurting.
I don't think Insomniac can help them. I really don't. You know what I mean? Like, you can't take the Flintstones and give it to Martin Scorsese and say, make me a Golden Globe winner. You know what I mean? It's still the goddamn Flintstones. It's the Spider-Man game. Spider-Man games consist of swinging building to building, stopping on top of a high building, getting to a really bad fist fight with a guy who's probably a lot stronger than you, and then continuing to swing around. And I don't care who you are, you can only make that so good. You know, so that game already in my eyes is trash. That's not bashing Insomniac. Anybody couldn't help that situation. Days Gone is already done. I'm waiting for The Last of Us 2. I don't want Days Gone. Horizon's made by Guerrilla Games. Nobody cares about that. When was the last time you guys were like, you know what I should do tonight after I get done with the next podcast? I'm going to go revisit Killzone 2. No, you've never said that. You will never say that. Because Guerrilla Games makes some of the worst games ever, and that's going to happen here. This is a game where it basically mimics. If you guys are Game of Thrones fans, this looks like the Wildlings. All right, taking on some fucking toasters. That
is the quote of the night right there.
You know, I mean, there's nothing to that game. You got to have more enemies on screen. You have to have more things. Don't just give me flowing grass that's just amazing backdrops. I need more than that. And then you give me Norman Reedus, which is an amazing actor. Kojima, I am never impressed with, but let's give him his props. He's been in the industry for 20-plus years. He's doing his thing. That game had no gameplay. That looked more like something I would have seen at the Cannes Food Festival, all right, or some kind of those film festival, excuse me. That actually was, I got food on the mind, right? I got to eat. No, but I'm saying like film festival. It's one of those wacky things where you have like a Leonardo DiCaprio looking down at himself and he's bleeding this like tar out of his veins and shit. That's just creepy, whacked out shit. There's nobody that wants that. That's a niche crowd. I mean,
from that trailer, no one was sitting there like, well, that looks interesting. No one knew what the fuck it was.
Everybody was. It was like they were in a 3D movie and their glasses weren't working. That was the facial expressions they had.
Nobody. That crowd was so dead, man. That crowd was.
I heard it was people actually. I heard it was people actually crying when he came out and they saw the trailer.
Yo, man, you guys know what I'm talking about when I say this. You guys have seen all the footage, right? When Michael Jackson used to go and tour over in Asia, people were fainting in the aisles. People were like passing out when he came out on stage. Don't get me wrong, Michael's one of the most talented people to ever hit a microphone. Okay, but let me tell you who's not talented: the people that work for Sony. And you got the same reenactments happening. There's people sitting on top of people's shoulders. There's girls flashing the stage. People are fainting in the aisles at these things, and there's no reason to. There's nothing going on. You've been bamboozled by smoke and mirrors and the bullshit. And you can tell. Listen, the one thing I do for a living is I like to talk. I have to talk. That's what I do for my job. And the one thing you have to do is watch Sean Layden. Watch that, if I can even tempt you guys to watch that again. When he comes out, he's grabbing his hands. He's constantly playing with his hands. Those are called nerves. His hands and his palms are sweaty as hell because he's got
speech
no
101.
content. No content.
Mooch, I will let you know a little bit about me, man. You hit the nail right on the head. I actually study psychology. I study human behavior. When I talk to people, I try to hear tendencies when they're talking and stuff like that. So people on panel, don't get scared, man. Like you guys have all known me for however long and stuff like that. But I have been able to like pinpoint when somebody's telling the truth, when somebody's lying, when somebody doesn't believe in the stuff that they're telling you. And with what you said with this guy later, that's exactly what it was. He's coming out, he's trying to impersonate Phil Spencer first and foremost. He already doesn't feel comfortable doing that, but that's what they feel they have to do. If they are so much in the lead in terms of gamers and stuff like that, why are they trying to imitate what they consider to be second place? All right, I have no idea why they would do that unless Microsoft is actually the true innovators in the gaming space now. And then, like you said, man, he was rubbing his hands like there was no confidence in what he was saying. He didn't believe anything.
That whole
no Adam Boyes came out, no Yoshida came out, nobody came out. They had no content. That was all bullshit.
That's because he was the fall guy. That's the thing.
And the show ended. And the
15 minutes.
15 minutes early. That tells you right there that they were shook. That whole conference felt missing. Listen, when Jack Tretton left Sony, PlayStation left with him. That's an actual fact. Jack Tretton was one of the best CEOs in gaming history. Fact. And next, I can't think of the guy that just passed away from rest his soul from Nintendo that actually made gaming casual. But other than that, Jack Tretton was a beast. And when he left, so did Sony's soul. And that's why you got Yoshida and all these cons trying to sell you on goods that is not fulfilling their actual goals. They're just wanting to get your money. It is their blood sucking you. Why are you still trying to defend this trash? Well, it's absolutely disgusting.
You know, it's funny. You talk about Jack and you say that's when Sony lost their soul or whatever. But I've seen Sony doing this with their consumers for years. It might not be exactly Jack. Like Jack was a people guy. All right, like people can relate to what he was saying. People like to hear what he was saying. But in terms of Sony as a corporation, all the way through the PlayStation 3 era and stuff like, I didn't even get involved in PlayStation 2. I didn't have to. My friends had it. I was over there every day. If I wanted to play it, I could. All right, I was more into the original Xbox, before that the Dreamcast. But I was able to see like what PlayStation fans were going through in terms of the PlayStation 3 and false promises and the name of the processor,
cell processor.
The cell processor. Like I was even having like Sony guys coming up and defending that system to me, and all I was doing was going to pick up a 360 game. Like, I didn't even start any dialogue as in terms of, well, why don't you have a 360? But as soon as they saw me going over and picking up a 360 game, they decided to tell me a whole bunch of bullshit, like multiplats play better on the PS3 and everything like that. And we know that's wrong. We know that's false. All right? So, unfortunately, when it comes to the PlayStation diehards, man, until they get up and say something, all right, until they get up and actually, like, kind of, you know, find their backbone again and say, hey, we're not going to take all this. Yeah, those games look all really well and good for 2019, 2018 or whatever, but what are we getting this year and next year? Until they stand up and do that, that's all you're going to see Sony do. I mean,
I got a question. You guys watched the show live? I had to watch it, you know, because of work, on someone's channel or whatever. When the show ended live, did they show that little glimpse of what's in development and what's coming out? Yeah. That was during the show. Get the fuck out of here. That was during a live show?
Yeah, that was at the very end where that's where I was reading it off when we were doing the live broadcast.
Who does that? What business out there says, hey, we got this, and this, but it's in development, guys? While people were walking out, that's when they showed it? Like, so they don't fucking see it? Shady. You know what I mean? Like, who does that, man? I mean,
One of my first things before I kind of got started on Twitter, the reason I got started was I would do hashtag Sony lies, and that's what they are. They are deceiving. What has Sony and the PS4 given the consumer in the past 3 years? What besides the media bullshit of 1080p? What have they given you? Nothing. Uncharted 4 was just a continuation of Uncharted 3. Nothing new was brought to the table. Nothing new dynamically, graphically, evolution, revolution. Nothing really came out of that game, okay? The Order was a flop. Bloodborne, you're either a Dark Souls fan or that game doesn't even exist to you. What's the name of their Drive Club was delayed 16 times. 50 cars when your competition's putting 350 cars in the game. Get the fuck out of here. You already lost it. You already lost that game. Then you're talking about the Uncharted collection. You gave me the Uncharted collection without half of the collection. They cut the fucking multiplayer out. That's not the collection. Okay, that wasn't the collection. It was like a partial collection. Nothing. What have they given you for the players? For who? It was nothing. All it's been is a bunch of hype and media praise. And that's why I attack the media even more than you. I mean, a lot of people hear me, and maybe I come off, right now we're talking E3, so E3 is directly at Sony. But the rest of the year after this hype is over with E3 is really directed at the media. The media, for some reason, what do? They start criticizing Phil Spencer for 4K. Now we're supposed to buy a 4K TV? What are you talking about? Maybe somebody said on the panel already today on this show, so I got to give credit where credit's due. When Sony was preaching 1080p at the beginning of this generation, there was still a lot of gamers still playing on a 720p. Did that mean they had to run out and buy a 1080p television for this system? Nobody said that in the media. Why are you now harping on Microsoft for this? And plus, it's pure ridiculousness.
Well, not only that, if you look at, like, before, like, it became the buzzword to call the PS4K a Neo, it was called the PS4K. So why weren't those questions raised when those rumors first started coming up and they called it the 4K? You see
that's
what I'm
why
saying?
that's why I made that meme with the greatness awaits background, and I said it's been years and I'm still waiting for greatness because that's what we've been doing. We've been doing that for 3 or 2.5 years now. You know, like, then that's what it is. They show stuff that people want to see. You're like, oh shit, fucking God of War, and then the show's at the end in development. It's like,
I've never turned I've never turned a console in mid-generation, but now I'm starting to sit here and think. Someone asked me this the other day. They said, "What are you going to play on PS4 the rest of the year?" And for me, I was speechless. I don't know what I'm going to play. What are you guys? What is coming out on PS4 in 2016 that I'm supposed to be excited about?
I went to GameStop the other day to reserve the Neo or the Neo. Look at me, my dumbass. The NS or the look at me. I'm still talking out of my ass. The fucking Xbox One S.
You'll get it there. There you go.
Yeah, they know that I'm an Xbox guy. So the one of the managers, he's a PS guy. He comes in. He's like, "So what'd you think of Sony's E3?" I go, "You tell me." And he goes, "Well, they showed this, they showed that." I go, "Now tell me when they released." And that was it. I paid for my shit. I got the fuck out of there because it was over. That was it.
There's nothing coming for that console. There's nothing. So if you're a PlayStation fan and you're listening or you're in the chat room, tell me, what are you going to play this year? Persona 5? I have no interest in anything anime or something that maybe a child would like to play. Tell me, what would a guy that comes home from work, wants to play a game with his buddies, shooting shit up? Doesn't have to be a shooter. It could be third person, first person. Could even be a role-playing game. Could be an RPG. I don't even care. Even throw me a JRPG that's coming out. What's coming out that I would want to play on the PlayStation 4? And I guarantee you that nobody's going to give you anything worth talking about because there is nothing coming. Nothing.
Mooch, you said about Persona 5, and it's a funny thing because I'm the in-between guy. I'm on Twitter, but I'm also in Facebook communities as well. So I know trolls on both sides and stuff like that. And I was told wholeheartedly that this game that they are holding up, they're holding it up into the God rays, and it's just shining in all its glory. This Persona 5 was supposed to be out by the end of 2015. I was guaranteed it was going to be out by the end of 2015. What time is it now? Like, I don't know. I'm kind of. It doesn't even look like it's coming out 2016. Like,
Japanese developers can't release on time. I mean, that's just a fact. I mean, like, name 5 Japanese published games that release this generation on time that are AAA. I dare anyone to do that. You can't do that. It doesn't happen. They haven't scaled to, when the consoles have gotten more powerful, how to handle that workload. They just haven't been able to do it. Regardless.
And what happened to the whole indie station? That was nowhere to be found, and they praised the little guys, right? That's what they say.
Dude,
it's games.
Their conference was an enigma, basically.
It was weird.
Yo, they're showing stuff that they're not coming out with for like ever, except for maybe Horizon Zero Dawn. I know it's marked for February 28th, but like Mooch said, when it comes to delays and stuff like that, man, it's got to be hard to own a PlayStation. You get hyped up for a game, and I remember Drive Club. It was at least twice. It was like right before that launch of the game, they had to delay it again. Like, it wasn't even they didn't even give you like a couple months time on like 2 of those delays. It was like within like shooting distance, and it's like, oh man, now you gotta wait again. But,
my problem was everything looked like something else.
It's smoke and mirrors, though. That's where you smoke and mirrors, man.
It's like they all use the same engine and shit, same fucking trees, same mountains.
All right, well, let's just.
Rise 2 looked amazing, by the way.
Which one?
I mean, God of War.
No, yeah, God of War. In my video that I did impressions on it, and I gave them a C. And the only reason I gave them a C was because of God of War.
Yeah, that was the only one that really stood out to me.
God of War is coming out. This new God of War, it seems like either people really love it or they really hate it. All right.
Man, I could tell
it's
you.
It's not
right
God
now,
of War anymore.
No, it's not.
I don't think that God of War was running on the vanilla PS4 also, but if it was,
no.
Nah, did you see that frame rate?
Frame rate.
If that's on Neo, ugh, that's bad.
First of all, that game right there, you have to understand something. Let's just leave my opinion completely out of it. Okay, I'm going to leave my opinion out of it. This is a problem. This is a big problem. How could you honestly, if you're a God of War fan, be excited about this? There's nothing about that game that looks like God of War. It looks like Rise, Son of Rome. Like there's nothing about that game that was the game that you love and fell in love with last generation.
And they hated Rise for the the little
QTEs.
Yeah, the QTEs, and that was just full of it.
Yeah.
Right. It reminded me of a Last of Us, but but a God of War with an open world. You would think that would be cool, but it just didn't seem right. And I don't like the little. And I know this is just a piece of the game, but I did not like Kratos having somebody with him. That you're trying to do that Last of Us feel. They're doing that with all their games. Seem like now here lately. And I hope that the kid Kratos will die off and the kid take over, or vice versa. But Kratos can handle shit by himself. Do not have no little kid aid him. Don't do that.
I can tell you the story already. The son is gonna die, and then he's gonna get, he's gonna go take care of business.
One enemy at a time.
But see, K Mega touched on a point here, and I believe Mooch touched on it as well with Days Gone. Even O Snaps, who is in the chat. I hope you guys are enjoying having O Snaps in the chat with you. She decided that's where she wanted to be for this podcast today, seeing as there were so many people in here. So, but even O Snaps, who doesn't really get into the whole Last of Us and everything like that, when she was seeing like the Days Gone and the God of War, she said God of War looked good, but she even said, not being in all that, like all the backdrops looked the same. And we were saying that in the live reaction. It was like they were taking The Last of Us and trying to take that Last of Us powder and just dump it on every other franchise that they were doing.
See, that's the thing. Us, the hardcore community, we can say that, we can realize that, but the casuals which run, gaming to where it's at, they don't know their head from their asshole when it comes to stuff like that. So as long as they see what they see, they're gonna buy it, and the media's gonna. When the media talks what they talk, that's what they're trying to grasp, is them. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that are trying to fool them. And you didn't hear everything that we're saying right now about Horizon, about God of War. No, I have not heard no one in the media say that. And it's very obvious. But they make sure to, point out what I feel Xbox is doing well, to point out their flaws. You know what I mean? In their opinion, that's what the flaws to them. But they got shit going for them, and I don't know. It baffles me that they can do what they do and it's okay. They get fucking standing ovations.
I put it like this: when it comes to groups, like I said earlier, I kind of study psychology and stuff like that. People as individuals can be highly intelligent, right? Now, what advertising firms and stuff like that, what they count on is kind of like that kind of IQ drop with bigger masses of people. They have to like kind of grab the masses, and they kind of steamroll in terms of sales and stuff like that. And I believe that's where Sony sold their PlayStation 4. Like, it's just started snowballing. Microsoft definitely helped out with what happened at the launch of the system. But after that, it just kind of Sony's guerrilla tactics and everything like that grabbed that mass appeal. And like I said, half of the people that own PS4s don't even know why they own them.
Nope.
True.
Ask my brother-in-law.
They don't. They was expecting, like I said, it's the nostalgia. Like when Hip Hop Gamer came with all that crazy junk he came out with.
Oh goodness.
That loony, yeah, don't let me get started. But anyway, when he came out there, the first thing he said was, "Oh my God, the era of the PlayStation 2 is back. It's back with us. We're gonna have it. It's here. Get ready, everybody." And that is even when I seen that conference in 2013, I even was thinking like, damn, as a lifelong gamer, man, I was like, damn, PlayStation is coming with it. Man, I can see the games right now. And now I'm coming 3 years later and like, I'm so glad I didn't give me a PlayStation 4 because it would have been a waste of my damn time. So I'm like, so man, it takes us as YouTubers and as just gamers that are knowledgeable, just to express to the people that, hey, look, man, I know that you might think this way, but why don't you look at it over here and see what's really going on the Xbox side? Not to try to say that Xbox is the best and all of that. You have your preferences, that's fine. But just look at how, as a consumer, how this company is treating you and how this other company is treating you.
Basically, what Mega's trying to say is, man, tap into your common sense.
Yes.
When
talking to the intelligent gamers, baby. That's
exactly.
what I'm trying to do.
When Mooch bought his PS4, and me and him were talking on Twitter, I asked him, I go, yeah, I'm thinking about getting one too. And he goes, save yourself the money, buy yourself a yo-yo, you'll have more fun playing with that.
Wow. That sounds like Mooch, man.
Listen, the only reason I got my PS4, and I think I've told the story, I'll make it short and sweet, was I had 2 PS3s from last gen in the house doing nothing. They weren't even plugged in. They were just on the side. And I had 3 Xbox 360s. So I took 2 PS3s, I took the one 360, and I ended up walking out with the Taken King white PS4 edition.
That's a nice looking one. That's the
Nice.
best
It is,
looking
man.
one that they
That's
made.
nice.
It is nice. I will give them credit there. And I walked out with that and a game. It was like $77. And I mean, like I was like, all right, listen, look it. We say next gen 720 says it. Kay said it tonight. I'll say it every night. We are consumers first. You're a fool. You're an absolute fool if someone's going to wave any console brand new out of the store for $77. You just take that.
Yeah.
So once they said they were going to stack $100 per, and I brought in some bullshit PS3 games I had, and they gave me money for that. Like $77, that's just the way it was. But to be honest with you, if that wasn't going down, I don't know if I'd have one because there's nothing there. There's really nothing there. And a lot of people I know that said that they bought the PS4 for Uncharted 4 all rented Uncharted 4. They didn't even buy it. So, like...
Well, dude, just look at... Not for anything. Look at the attach rate when it comes to the PlayStation 4 and the X1. PlayStation 4 is supposedly, like, over 40 million consoles out there. The attach rate is absolutely horrible when you look at how many consoles are supposedly out there. When you look at the X1, the attach rate, which is the amount of games an individual has that has the console, the attach rate is always higher on the Xbox One. Like, people on this side, like people say about the whole Quantum Break and stuff like that. Yeah, there are some games out there that, people that for some reason or another, they don't support. But in all actuality, if you look at the entire ecosystem, the entire, like, Xbox community, they buy the games. And that's where the money is being made from these companies. It's in the software.
Can I touch on that real quick?
No doubt.
It's the same thing over and over. They aren't going to buy a single player game for $60. That's what happened to Quantum Break, I think. It was just too much money, and that's the kind of game Sony is giving us.
You know what? Because we got to talk about, like, gamers on a mass scale. So I'm not talking about those hardcore gamers or anything like that. But you saw how the media completely spun Quantum Break. Quantum Break, Remedy got an award for how they processed that game, how they built that game, having the 4 different 720p screens and having them blend together to make a 1080p input. Each of those layers was actually controlling a different effect on the screen. So you had one layer that was dealing with, like, the shattered window sky base and stuff like that, right? And you had it on the ground and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You had another one dealing with the suspended materials. You had another one that was dealing with the light particles that were frozen in time, like during these stutters. Like they got an award for this, but because of the way the media spun it, all right, I think they took a drastic hit because of that as well.
Let me touch on this. Let me touch on this right fast, okay? I think Microsoft caught that, and that could be the reason why Recore is only going to be $40 at retail.
Exactly. Kay, you took the subject right out of my hand.
Oh, sorry, Mooch. Sorry.
Oh, no, man.
No, Take it away. Hey, man, I don't want to talk to no legend, but in front of him. I don't want to do none of that. I don't want to get moved. No, but for real, I think they understand that, because if you look on the PC side, right, like Watch Dogs 2, they have a special right now for Watch Dogs 2 for $39. Microsoft is looking at this. Next year, there's going to be a lot of changes, and I'm saying this right now. Xbox Live and with the one store the games that's got the story. This is one player. They're going to start changing it and lowering the prices so they can match up with what the PC is doing and have those people convert over to the Xbox Store app. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
Listen, when it comes down to games like Recore, and I think Kay's onto something, when you see what's going to happen with this game I've already heard is a 12-hour game. It's definitely a AAA game, and Microsoft's selling it for $40. I think they're really trying something new here. Let's think about it. I would say over 50% of people are going to buy it digitally. That means that Microsoft owns the game, published the game, selling it on their own system digitally. It costs them $0 basically to transport that code to you, over the internet. So they can afford to drop this bad boy to $40. Okay, and when you do that, you're better off having 3-4 million people buy it at $40 than having 1 million or 800,000 buy it at $60.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
This is what's going to happen. Now, does that mean you're going to start seeing Call of Duty drop to $40? Hell no. That's never going to happen. But you will start seeing Microsoft, being the giant that they are, maybe start to do what we asked before this generation started. You want to go buy Recore. Now, they're not doing it with Recore, but maybe you want to buy a Microsoft Studios game. Maybe it'll be $50 or $60 retail, $40, $45 digital. Because they own everything about it. They're getting every last red cent off of it. They own the IP. They own the digital rights. You're buying it off the Microsoft Store. There's no middleman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and not only that, you take away GameStop and stuff, so they can't pocket out. You trade a brand new game in,
Which
they're selling it for $54.99.
Right, that's the other thing. Once they got you for the $40 digitally, that's it, Windy. Now, they are flirting, right? We all got that poll about 6 months, 8 months ago that says they were flirting with giving you possibly it would be less than 10% of what you paid. But listen, that's just a good deed, right? That's just a good deed. Because what do you really own when you own an IP? When you buy that IP, you don't own shit. You know what I'm saying? So like they're basically saying to you, hey, I'll give you $6. Did you play the shit out of Sunset Overdrive? Yes. Are you done playing Sunset Overdrive? Yeah, I'm probably not going back to it. I beat the DLC. I 1,000 that shit. Okay, you're done with it? I'll give you $6 for it. For what?
Something's better than nothing.
For nothing. I'll give you $6 for something you told me was dead to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's worth something. That doesn't mean you got to do it. If you don't want to do it, hold on to it. That's your right. But Microsoft's giving you options. But what they can sure as shit do is what Windy just said. You can't take Recore, give it back to GameStop, and then they can sell that thing for $33. You know what I'm trying to say? They're not going to be able to do that. So Microsoft's got all the power. So give the customer a little play, and that's what's going to make Recore a hit. You watch. Recore is going to be a hit for 2 reasons. First of all, 3 actually. You've got some of the best developers working on that right now, okay? Mm-hmm. Some of the best in gaming history working on that. Number 2, it looks like a hell of a game, and 3 is the price. I'm just telling you right now.
You got the trifecta right there, man.
It's a win-win-win.
Yeah, it's a win-win-win, and that's the beauty of what Microsoft is trying to do. And I guarantee you that if you listen to PlayStation podcast, you're not going to get intellectual talk like this, because I listen to a lot of them crazy asses, and it's all they're not sound like Tasmanian devils. I don't understand some of this shit, but the truth of it is that, man, look, man, Microsoft has got a vision. They know that they got to compete with Steam, and that's why they go try to partner and work with them. And then also try to get in that fan base of those 800 million players that's out there in the PC land. So they're going to have to entice them. So that is perfect. Cheaper prices is always the way.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Microsoft's competing with, 5, 6 other businesses compared to just Sony. Sony's a fucking pimp on their ass. And imagine if Microsoft just had gaming and that's it. And they were going up against Sony head-to-head. Can you imagine what Microsoft would be doing if that was their focal point?
There wouldn't be no Sony PlayStation.
Exactly. They would have fucking bought their asses already.
It wouldn't be no Sony PlayStation.
Exactly. So, and people need to understand that they're doing more for a wider audience compared to just the console gamer, and I give them props for that. It's a big chance they're doing it. I think their vision is pretty damn spot on.
Like, really, when you're doing it, all you got to do is the same shit we learned when we were in elementary school, okay? It's just a pros and cons list. This holiday coming up, you have a brand new console with HDR, which people don't realize the significance of that. TheDon touched on it earlier. Okay, HDR is a huge deal. But forget about that. We have Recore, Gears, Forza 3, okay, and I forget, No, Halo Wars 2 has been bumped out. There's another one. There's 4 games coming out. Oh, Dead Rising 4.
Yeah.
And we didn't
There's
even get the
4
Gamescom yet.
Right? 4 games. Right, exactly. Great point, because you got Gamescom. That's where we're going to start seeing some new IP. We got 4 games coming out this holiday, plus new hardware. Plus, you can customize your controller. Plus, an Elite Gears controller. Plus, the hype that's coming behind Scorpio. What does Sony have coming this year? The Last Guardian, which is like maybe something that was hot about 8 or 9 years ago, and it still looks like it's made 8 or 9 years ago. And
Literally.
that's it, people. That's all you got. And I heard through the grapevine that Neo will be coming out this October, but it's the same thing I told Zaire on BGST. Let's say you got that money in your hand. You go to the store. You go, I'll take a Neo, please. They hand it to you. You walk out. You come home, take it out of the box. It's shiny. Looks the same, but it's shiny. Plug it in the wall. And here's my question to anybody who's going to go buy a Neo. What do you do with it?
Absolutely right.
What the hell do you do with that thing?
Damn,
Besides stare at it.
You killing them.
Yeah. It's true.
You killing them, Mooch.
Well,
it's
Shit's
true.
dead. It's dead on day one.
Yep.
I definitely agree, and I do like what Windy City touched on a little bit further back when he was talking about taking GameStop out of it. I know I've said this before. I'm guilty of like buying pre-owned and stuff like that before. You know, you felt like you were getting a deal. 7 days you could bring it back, but I don't think people realize like how detrimental that was or is to the developers. Like the developers, like when people are talking about season passes, when people are talking about DLC and stuff like that, that is pretty much to make up for the money that they are losing when, you know, a month after their game comes out, their game gets absorbed into that pre-owned space where companies like GameStop, all they do is make pure profit off of selling pre-owned games, and none of it goes to the developers.
Yeah, the majority of those used games, literally, they've been traded in about 4 or 5 times before it even touched your hands.
Yeah, and
You know
I know,
what I mean? You know how
I
much
worked
money?
at GameStop, man.
Yeah, dude, I know. We talked about. I worked at fucking Funkoland before they became GameStop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd be surprised the little meetings we had. You know, when I worked there. They make lots of money, man. And this will be. Then they're scared of it because I still talk to a couple managers and they're pro Sony because of Xbox's, you know, their push to do what they're doing, and they feel eventually it's going to happen, and they're kind of clueless on what the hell they're going to do. I tell them you should have stayed your ass in school then because you can't be retail your whole life, you know?
Right, and this is the thing that Microsoft and the developers that make PC games are realizing. Especially let me just break this down from my perspective. For me, that I was kind of late to the online gaming thing. I was the old school because I was a diehard PlayStation fan, and I used to sit at home with a pack of friends, play Madden, college basketball, all that, blah blah blah. And when the all online, I mean, I'm not into that. And then I played Call of Duty and Halo, and then I was like, oh, this is all right. With the digital games, I was kind of like, man, no, I like buying my stuff out there at the stores. You know, I mean, I like that wholeness, that feeling of being around people at midnight and all that. Mm-hmm. Now, every game I buy is digital. It just is because it's more convenient. You know what I'm saying? It's just better. Slowly but surely, and check this out on the PC side with Steam. Everybody on the PC side hated Steam because of the DRM and because of the digital, all of that. And then look at Steam now.
Yeah,
and
now
look
it's
what
praise
Microsoft
Gavin.
is doing right now. It's all coming together, people. The new age, the new frontier of gaming is upon us. We just have to embrace it. Give it a chance. That's what
I'm slowly but surely doing the same exact thing. You know, I like my box. I was pissed off when they didn't even give you a book no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, like for certain games, like for my games that hasn't been out for a long time, like for maybe Red Dead or something like that, Red Dead 2 or something, I might go to a midnight launch. But man, going back to get Madden again at a midnight launch, hell no, I'm not wasting my time, dude. I gotta go to sleep and go to work.
Yeah, they do give you the book on the Xbox All you gotta
Yeah.
do is while the game is launched to say Xbox Help, and the game manual will snap to the side.
Yeah, but
Well, no,
you
no,
talking about
I
having
mean,
that
I'm talking about
physical
the
book, like.
yeah,
The
I go
actual
take
booklet.
I
Yeah,
go
it's
take
got the little
I go
story
take
in the front, like
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
dude, I used to love that. Like certain games, like a Resident Evil, they had like a bio of of Jill and Chris, and then a bio even for the enemies, and it was like, man, you taking a shit reading this? It was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's you can't have that no more.
No, and GameStop is going to have to make a decision because, like you said, they see the writing on the wall. It's beginning to happen already. I know that like physical sales are still way up there, but the more people start gravitating to it, and friends start talking to friends, and then if Microsoft implements game sharing, like like they were going to in the beginning, man, that's a wrap.
Well,
Yeah,
they're already
Over.
giving that extra incentive with Play Anywhere. You buy it digital, you can play it on your PC or your console.
Right,
And
it's a wrap.
you got Mooch over here looking for his laptop, looking for a nice laptop, so he can really get involved in this when he travels. I mean, how much more for the consumers are you gonna
These
get?
digital
and
sales
this
is nice too. Like they
yeah,
got Battlefield for $4.
literally both of them. You can $8 and some tax, so $10 for 2 fucking Battlefields. With the DLC.
Yeah, man. I mean, for people who have to travel for work, I didn't want to get into that part of it, but it's realistic, man. You know, this shit's real. This is what we're talking about. To be able to take a laptop, take it with me, all of a sudden I log on my Xbox app, put in my username and password from Xbox Live, and there's my entire games library. And not only my entire games library, I could have finished up the night before, just stopped the game, boom, pick it up right where I left off, and now I'm just like, you know what I mean? Listen, you go out to work, right? You have to work on the road. You do your job. You come back. If you even have to go to dinner, whatever, with clients, or you're going out to work, whatever you got to do, you go to do what you got to do. You get back to the hotel room, you're like, damn, I don't feel like watching nothing. There's nothing on TV. You're in a different town. You don't know what channel anything is.
Yeah.
You just open that up. All of a sudden, you hook the headset up to the side. All of a sudden, me and Xbot and Fuski, Don, we're all chilling. We're all bullshitting, having a good time. And like that's something that you can't really put money, and that doesn't cost you anything. You already have the laptop in your house. You know what I mean? Like you just take it with you, plug it in, start playing the game. You know, I mean, people are underestimating the Play Anywhere. That's a huge, powerful tool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. And the people that are saying that they're not gonna get an Xbox because they're just gonna build a PC, do it. Go ahead.
Xbox?
You know.
Yeah,
go ahead, do it.
Xbox, it says we're off air.
Really?
Oh, does it? No, I think people will listen to it. Maybe I don't know. But I was gonna comment on Top
It
Gun.
says
What he was
that.
saying.
Don't worry about it, Mooch.
Yeah, mine's still going.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah, Top Gunner. He just sit there and said that Slim has no Xbox port
Give him a heart
for all
attack.
these new Cortana features, and he's partially right, but then he's wrong again because you can get that adapter for free for the Slim. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the adapter is free for.
Yeah,
Yeah, you just
call
gotta
him up.
register. Yeah, you register your Xbox and they'll.
Oh,
send it
that's
to you.
awesome.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying. Top Gun has been trying to break down everything as a pony would, but the problem is that he's wrong on every level. So you know what I'm saying, man. Look, I appreciate you watching the show. You know what I'm saying. We gotta have the hate just as much as the love. You know what I'm saying. So
How about this?
yeah, so you know what I'm saying. Just keep on keeping your stuff, and we'll just break it down for you. You know what I'm saying. We listening, we watching.
Well, you know what
what
it is.
Thank you, community, for listening, man. We really appreciate you guys.
Even if you didn't have a Connect or a headset for your Xbox One, you can actually type in a question and she will still answer it. So.
And well, he was talking about D4 and everything like that. He was getting into the Kinect games. He's really doing his best trying to pick and poke and try to find holes and stuff like that. But with them having an adapter that you just register for and it gets sent to you for free, I think you can hold off for a couple days on D4 and go, I don't know, play Halo 5 or something like that. I don't think, like, I'm not sure about your urgency to play that title, like, right off the bat. But I think you're okay.
Well, if you want to get it now, I mean, it don't come out until August, so you could already have contact Microsoft.
No, D4. He's you know the title that you were using to connect. You could also use the controller as well. All right.
Yeah, because so many people are playing that game right now.
And he said there's only 3 USB ports on the Xbox One S. It's the same amount on the original Xbox One also.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
But I do want to stop for a second. I do like to welcome O Snaps. She is in with us right now. Everybody say hi.
Hi, everybody.
And the reason why she's here, she's actually here for a special announcement. So I know. Did you have fun in the chat, Snaps?
Yes, everybody's been keeping me alive and well and entertaining me, and hopefully I've been entertaining them. Lady
Awesome.
Foxfire's back. Her battery died, so she left us for a little bit. Anyway, so thank you, Mooch and Windy, for joining us tonight. That was really awesome of you guys. We're really happy to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I actually been working on something for the next podcast, and tonight I finally announced it to the chat so everybody could see what I've been up to and why I've been so busy all the time. So the new website that we have, everybody has their own page. It's individualized, and I hope you guys all enjoy it. Everybody that's part of the next podcast, because I did it for you guys, and so people who are looking for us and more info on us, they can find us easily. Everybody has their own page. So it's thenextpodcast.com, and I hope you guys all enjoy it. Leave some messages for us. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Nice. So you're basically saying that we at Next Podcast, we have our own official site, and everybody on it has their own official page.
Yes, you do, and I'm tweeting it out right now for everybody.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Nice.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Be adding some stuff to it too soon.
Yeah, we will want to let we do want to let you know it is it's public and everything like that. But just like Microsoft Windows 10 and this podcast, we're always in a constant state of evolution. So we're always doing work on things. We're always trying to improve things, make it better, make the crew more accessible and stuff like that as well. So, things that you see now, just wait a week from now, you're going to see even more and stuff like that. It's kind of the same mentality that we embrace at Next Podcast itself. We're forever trying to push that boundary and to go even further to give, our subscribers, our viewers, our community more of what they want. So,
thank you, everybody, for joining me in the chat tonight, because you guys got to see it first. And I appreciate you being here for us.
Nice.
Yes, thank you.
So what do you think, guys? That sound awesome? You guys going to check out the site?
Absolutely.
Sure, man. We're gonna
Absolutely.
get off.
Thank you, Snaps. Thank you, Snaps.
Awesome.
You're very welcome.
Well, I know Mooch, he was talking about being hungry close to an hour ago. I could just imagine what he's feeling right now.
It's all good, man.
Come on, I'm hungry too. Everybody in the chat's been talking about food on purpose.
I bet you chicken spaghetti was at the top of that list, man. But I don't know. We pretty much said everything we had to say. I do want to let people know about the Halo 5 update. If you go on Halo Waypoint, in terms of the firefight update, you go on HaloWaypoint.com. You will see that they're starting to do that little teaser poster. They're showing a new Banshee. You guys know I was going to get Halo 5 news in here, right? You guys do know this.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, they got a couple new cool armors that they're showing. I think one is called Cyclops. I will be rocking that helmet as soon as I can get it. But there's going to be 2 new Warzone maps, a new arena map. They have a brand new a whole list of brand new things for people who build maps in Forge. Of course, they have Firefight. There's just so much stuff coming in this next update. And you guys know when they start showing that poster, we're about a week and a half away from them releasing it. So I am thoroughly excited. I can't wait to see exactly what is in this content. I actually have a bunch of rec points just waiting to open rec packs for this. But as usual, guys, we're about time to do our little plugins, everything like that. You guys have been awesome on the show today. Everybody in the chat, you guys are absolutely amazing. We went up over 70 viewers today, and I really do appreciate it. I let you guys know every time we're on here that if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here doing what we do. You guys drive us to do more. So in terms of plugs and stuff like that, this is going to feel a little awkward, but I am going to start with Mooch here. Usually the roles are reversed, but Mooch, do you have anything you'd like to plug for us today?
Well, absolutely. First of all, shout out to all the fathers. Happy Father's Day weekend. That's a plug that we should definitely hit up.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Second, definitely want to let everyone know about Crossfire Podcast. It's 6 p.m. Eastern Time. on my channel, the Mooch78. You can catch me, Xbots on there, and I'd like to get a couple of the guys that are on this here for a couple special guest appearances and O-Snaps as well. And also like to advertise, I want to say congratulations to Xbot. I mean, that's huge to have your own website. We just launched bgstpodcast.com, which has been a huge success. A lot of people are going to it. A lot of people will be going to your website. You'll be amazed how many people want to read and reiterate all the things that they caught up in the past week with what you have to say in your blogs. So that's a huge thing. I think the fans will really dig that. And, of course, we have BGST this weekend. I want to say it's going to be tomorrow night, but the only thing is that before I plug it, with Father's Day being the essence of tomorrow,
exactly.
We may move it, we may not. So stay tuned to Twitter for me, Crap Gamer, Next Gen, when we post the times for that. But thank you so much for having me on tonight, Xbot, and the crew here tonight, man. It's been awesome. Love you guys, man. You guys actually talk some serious games, and that's what people want to hear about. You know, it is what it is, and I can't thank you enough, bro.
No, I definitely appreciate it, and I did want to let you know, Mooch, when it comes to the BGST website, next podcast is actually a supporting podcast for you guys. So
Cool.
I talked to Jay Will. We're actually, on the website. We're listed as one of your supporters. No doubt, you guys, BGST, of course, Crossfire, even, without me on there or whatever, you guys do an amazing job. Even Snap started watching BGST, and she is thoroughly entertained by what you guys have to say.
Most entertaining, yes, it was great.
BGST is definitely, the five of us together, especially when we can get Showstopper in there too. It's a dynamic that, and I'm on a lot of different podcasts. I guest on a few. I even do my own. BGST, I will say, is something special because we all didn't know who the hell each one of us were beforehand. We all just we got no problem just, telling the other person something's wrong. And I think you guys are building that chemistry here. It's all about finding, and, it takes time sometimes. You guys know that. You guys have been on different podcasts. Sometimes you got to try some new people out in the net. Sometimes the guest doesn't like to be on, or the host has a different preference. But you got to find that chemistry. And it took some time with BGST, but I think the customers really like it. The fans really like it. And thanks for those kind words. I appreciate it, man.
No doubt, man. No doubt. Windy, we finally got our first episode in together, man.
Yes, I had a blast, man. I thank you guys so much. I wish I could be part of the panel much more, but the situations, and I thank you. I really do appreciate it. Happy Father's Day to everyone out there.
Thank you, man. Just to let people know, like I said, you were with us from the beginning when I was kind of trying to plan this whole thing out. You and K Mega were the first couple people I actually talked to, and I am super stoked that you have made it here. I know you will make it when you can. You are gonna have your own page on the website as well. But why don't you let people know? Because I saw a couple really good videos that you came out with the past couple days. Why don't you let people know where to see your videos? Any other plugs, Twitter, stuff like that?
Oh yeah, definitely. You can follow me on Twitter at WindyCityGaming. I have the link on there with my YouTube channel. Slowly but surely, getting better at it. I do everything basically through my Xbox and through my phone. But my last two videos are just my impressions of Xbox and PlayStation. And what's making me laugh even more is I got more views on my PlayStation one. Go figure, huh?
Yeah, that is crazy. Well, man, the way you ended that though, that was classic, dude.
Yeah, check it out, guys. I mean, I try to add a little bit of some
flair.
type of comedy to it, and I do what I do. I try my best just to, I have fun doing it, So, check it out if you guys got time, I try to post as much, at least one a week. If I could do more, I would. But, yeah, check it out, Windy City Gaming. And, again, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
I do have the link in the description below, so definitely check out this guy's channel, man. Windy City, real cool dude. Hit him up on Twitter, all that good stuff. NewarkNJ, dude, why don't you let people know about your community, where they can go and talk games, tech with you, stuff like that?
First, I want to start off by saying, hey, Mooch, it's an honor being in the podcast with you. I'm a big fan.
Thank you, man. That means a lot, man. Thank you.
What's crazy is that I have my little 11-year-old son right here. I was in a podcast with K Mega, Xbot, Mooch, and he already look at y'all as celebrities or whatever. So he was like, tell him I said hi. Tell him I said hi. So, he want to say hi to y'all or whatever. But
I appreciate
it's really been an honor.
We all said hi back, dude.
Hello.
Happy Father's Day to the fathers,
Yes.
And the Xbox news for Xbox Gamers Group is always updated, daily.
Yeah.
And I want to give a shout out to Kevin Brandon because he keep us updated. I don't know where he get this news from. You
He's a
know,
beast, man.
yeah, he's a beast.
He's
Absolute
absolutely
beast.
incredible, man. He shocked Zaire. Like, yo, next I swear, man, he is shocked by like the articles that he comes out with and stuff like that, man.
Eh,
So big
He's
shout out.
is he a moderator in Bang Bang now?
I believe so, yeah.
I
I've
think
seen him removing some
the
people that
moderator
needed to
Bang
be.
Bang around
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
But sometimes I find articles and I'm like, I got one. Then when I post the article there, he is already up there when he posts the article up there. So, you know.
Yeah, he is awesome.
Yeah, yo, you got to feel very proud of yourself when you find an article that Kelvin didn't find yet. All
Yeah. I
right.
think you had one the other day, but I want to thank everybody. I think we reached 103 members today, so you know, I
Nice.
passed a little 100 mark. Still a long way to go, but I thank
Congrats,
everybody
bro.
who support the group, and you can also follow me at NewarkNJ360 on Twitter
Nice.
and on Xbox Live.
Definitely Xbox Live, man. But that is awesome. I know that community, man. If you're trying to get like Xbox news, Windows 10 news like first, you definitely got to be a part of that Facebook community. Hey Foos, man, give us something to plug, man. Where can we talk to you? Where can we find you, man?
You're most likely to find me on Xbox.
Of
You know,
course.
I'm always down to play, especially Halo 5. You know, if we can get it done. You can find me on Twitter, Fuskies1. You can find me at YouTube at Fuskies1. My YouTube, I don't know what I'm doing with it yet, but there is a couple gameplay videos. I put up every gameplay video from the show,
We're
so you can go
influencing them.
check those out. You know, but I'm working on it. I need to come up with an idea. I don't want to make something that ain't gonna work. So
I got you,
we'll
man.
see what I get.
Just do what you feel. That's why I try to tell people that are starting to get into YouTube, man. Just do what you feel. You gotta love what you do in order to keep doing it.
Right.
And with YouTube, the thing is consistency. So as long as you love what you do, you can be consistent with it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, I love gaming, and that's what's on there. So
Nice. That's all we need,
that's a
man.
start.
All right, TheDon. Oh man, 3D graphics. Kiss the ring, man. Where can we find you?
You can reach at me at LetDonDev on Twitter. I did post my portfolio. It is there for you guys to see.
Nice.
That happened actually on Sunday, but I waited till to the
Nice.
big show to announce it. It's also on the website, the next podcast website as well. So you have two sources where you can look that stuff up. Just doing my thing, doing a lot of 3D stuff, and I am working out all the formatting, and looks like a YouTube channel is going to emerge from popular request.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
For some just kind of look behind the scenes, see how the sausage is made, that sort of thing. And I think what I'm going to do is kind of just like a two-person dialogue, just people that are either having interest in that sort of stuff, or just people just kind of curious, like, what the hell are you doing? Come from a different approach than like a lot of people that know how to do a lot of that stuff, and they're usually talking to their peers. This is more for you guys. It's
Nice.
more for gamers, for the people that are just interested in if they watch movies, whatever it may be. It's going to be that. So I'm probably going to ask you guys for some help on that two-person dialogue, but yeah, that's it. That's in the works, and I just have to work through the kinks with the studio I have, and go over a couple things on addendums on my contract and stuff like that. So
I got you, man. Well, we really do appreciate it. It sounds awesome, and the crew at Next Podcast, man. We're always here to support you. So whatever help you need, man, you know how to get a hold of us all. And good job on the nextpodcast.com as well, because with all these plugs, you hear YouTube channels, you hear portfolios, you hear Facebook communities. You can find them all at this website. There are links to all of them. So K Mega, man, let everybody know where to find you. Let's do this.
Yeah. All right, man. Yeah. Just check out my video. I just dropped out a video right before the show started. Check me out, KMega405 on Twitter at KMega4. Man, It's an honor as always. Thank you, Windy City, man. It's a pleasure, man. I don't know. Maybe we need to just hire you as a muscle, because man, like you come in gangster as hell, man. I don't even know.
Yo, he asked me
You know what I'm
before.
saying?
Yo, Mega, he asked me before time. He's like, "Can we swear?" I'm like, "Yeah, be you, man. Do what you gotta do."
Wendy, man, and Wendy's gangster as hell, man. That's that Capone style. And then like Mooch, man, it's an honor to meet you for the first time. And damn, if whatever you selling, I'm buying, because like man, your personality, man, you kill it, man. So
yeah, I appreciate that, K.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to get you on Crossfire real soon, then, brother.
Oh man, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome, man. A dream come true. And this is not kissing no ass, but man, like I've said this before to everybody, BGST is the best podcast that's out right now.
Yeah, man.
No doubt, hands down.
Say that, I
Hands
gotta
down.
give props to Zaire, man. If you don't
Yes,
listen, if you don't belong to Next Gen 720, you don't subscribe right now. That man, not only does he speak facts, he is a true gamer. He's a consumer, and the man was waving the flag way before anybody else. So give respect to Next Gen Zaire.
Definitely, man.
Yeah, no much that, because I've been watching, you know what I'm saying, Next Gen when he was doing, you know what I'm saying, before he even called it BGST, like, you know what I'm saying, when he had the whole other cast. And so
I was watching that too.
Shout outs to him too, man. But like everything, you know what I'm saying, thank you everybody for, you know, being down for this and paying attention. I mean, like, this is crazy to me. So I love it. I'm a gamer. This is always just so fun to talk and to communicate with everybody. So, man, thank you. Big shout out to Intromedia Gaming and to my boy, Mr. 100, man. He hit his 1,000 mark. I'm proud of him. You know what I'm saying? I was fucking him up in Tekken last night because I couldn't get no slack. But, you know what I'm saying, I was very proud of him for hitting that 1,000. So, man, you know.
Yeah,
Let's go,
Mega,
man.
we gotta get together on that Tekken, man. I definitely want to record me beating you down and put it on our gameplay.
All right,
I've been getting practicing too, boy.
And everybody start making Killer Phil. That is the
hashtag Killer Phil.
Hashtag Killer Phil. Let's go. All right.
Snaps, are you still with us? I hope so.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Well, Snaps, let everybody know where to find you. You know, do any type of plugs that you can.
It's got the TV super loud. You guys can go to thenextpodcast.com.
Nice.
And find me there on my page.
Awesome. Yeah, guys, I will put the link to the website on you know, while this video is processing. As usual, guys, I know I said it before, but it could be said over and over and over again. If it wasn't for you guys watching right now, we wouldn't be doing what we do. You push the next podcast to go even further, to reach even further, to just keep trying to innovate what we're doing here as a podcast. And I really, really do appreciate the community. You guys mean absolutely everything to us. But all in all, you know, a big shout out to Gamer Knows Best as well, Console Corner. They are doing their game time tonight. I believe it's at 9:30. I definitely want to join them. They're doing Halo 5. I definitely want to get into that. So, you know, you can follow Gamers Know Best. All right, it's Gamers_Know Best on Twitter. They, you know, him and his wife She-Wolf, they're on Twitter a lot. They'll let you know exactly what's going down with the game time and stuff like that. And definitely check out Console Corner. I believe it's every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
Tuesdays at 7.
Yeah, I was gonna say 7 too.
And I will be on the show on Tuesday.
You're gonna be on Tuesday?
Yep.
Oh, nice. So be sure to
Nice.
check out Windy Tuesday, 7 o'clock, Console Corner. But as for now, guys, have a great weekend as usual. I appreciate you guys stopping by, and I will see you on Game Time with Gamer Knows Best and She-Wolf.
I got one more shout out, man. Shout out to Gamers United, my boy B Shadows and Rain, man. I cannot get off this without saying what's up to my boy B Shadows. He was the one that got me into PC gaming in the first place. So thank you very much, B Shadows.
Yeah.
Great guy.
B Shadows, an encyclopedia of gaming right there, man.
Yeah.
Nothing but respect. All right, guys, have a great weekend, and we will see you next Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern, on the next podcast.